Good morning, friends. It's been a little bit. In the meantime, I have gotten all my garden boxes planted and everything's looking good. My peas are over there coming up on the trellises that I grow on there every year. I've got Brussels sprouts in here, and I've also got my birdhouse gourds that are going to grow on this real nice cattle panel. And the birdhouse gourds are just small. See, they're just starting to come up. And I need to come in here and do a little weeding. Now, I only put two on this side, and I've got one on the other side because they're so aggressive. You really don't need any more than one plant on this side of each side of the trellis. Those are my nice Brussels sprouts growing. Those are going to be good, and I amended that the other day with some composted cow manure. These are my zucchini, and I got nasturtiums in there, and those are my, I hate when that happens. I get so sidetracked, I forget. Those are my Scarlet runner beans. And those, I've got quite a few plants on there, and they're going to fill up that entire cattle panel all the way. And on the other side, I got more of them too. I put together a little bird bath because my birdhouse and my bird feeders, my bird houses are around here too, but my bird feeders are all right there. And then they can just come over here and play in the water. And I see the little, not chickadees, but the little finch playing in the water. Okay, friends, I think I nailed it with, I always tell you I have a hard time growing peppers. Well, we'll see, but I think I nailed it with this. Peppers like it kind of dry. So I'm not watering them near as much as I did mine last year. I let them get, good and dry about the first inch or two below the soil. I let it dry out really good. And then I just give them, a little bit of water. And look, they're doing really good. And I added a little bit of bone meal and some composted cow manure in there. So they're really liking that. So hopefully this year, and I planted them for high density. I did high density planting so I can, get a little more produce out of them. So I think they'll do good. Very good. They're looking good and healthy. And those are my birdhouse gourds that I grew last year, hanging up there. My granddaughter and my daughter painted them and decorated them so I could hang them up there. They're so pretty. And these are my Scarlet runner beans on this side of the cattle panel. And then I got a little salsa garden going in here. I got pepper and tomatoes and basil, sweet basil. And then I got some marigolds and some nasturtiums because those are so good in there. Now these, I got nasturtiums in here, and I think I'm going to thin the littlest plant out here. This is like a patty pan, and these will get huge. They're the English or custard plants, and they look like patty pans, only they're more of a bowl shaped. You'll see when they start growing. And here this is my thyme and my tarragon from last season. It's been here. This gets really huge, this tarragon. And I just threw a nasturtium in there. And then I got a little spot on the other side that I'm just going to put some parsley in. But this is doing really good, and it smells wonderful. It's almost ready to be harvested a little bit, and then I can start drying it. It's a lemon thyme, and it's delicious. And that's some more lemon thyme, parsley, and that big bunches of oregano. And I'm going to... It's time to start harvesting that to dry it for winter. And I got a real nice bed of pole beans here. These aren't all pole beans. The ones right along the edge of the bed there are pole beans, but the ones in the middle are just bush beans. And I got some burgundy beans and just some jade beans. And then I got the nasturtiums growing all along the edge, which is wonderful because the nasturtiums are such a good companion plant with beans. the beans give off nitrogen in the soil, and the nasturtiums will just flourish from that nitrogen, and in turn they deter all the pests from the beans. So that's a good companion setup right there. And then of course my Egyptian walking onions. I love the way they do this. It's kind of neat looking how they get big and they usually bend over. But mine don't do that because I keep mine in a container. So they don't take over, because they will take over your garden quickly. And then this is just all flowers in here, except for my big bunch of sage. And that's wonderful. It just smells wonderful. I'm gonna harvest that pretty soon. It's already starting to flower. It's beautiful. I made a little teepee in the back out of wood because I'm growing morning glories up there. So that's all flowers. It's really pretty. I gave a big chunk of my sedum away again. By the end of summer, that'll be all filled in, because that sedum is really, it's beautiful. I love it, but it's invasive. It'll take over quickly. Over here I've got this is an old little trough. And I got mint growing in here. It's spearmint, which is wonderful for teas. And last year that was just a little sprig that I planted. And look how it's gone crazy. Now I want it to be just the mint and the thyme next year all filled in here, because my thyme right there comes back every year and it's gorgeous. So this year I just put, in the empty section over there, I just put some kale in there, and it'll be beautiful. And my chives are doing good. Those blossoms are good to eat in your salad too. So I'm going to have to take and cut some of them down and dry them up for winter too. And then here, I'm not quite done with this area here. I'm going to do a little rock bed in here. And I'm going to plant some cucumbers within here too in a container. But I've got a big beautiful scarlet kale growing in that container, and it'll be gorgeous. And then on this side of the bed, these are patty pan squash I've got growing here, and they're doing really good. Right here, you can barely see. It would be right there. I got beans coming up. I planted a little section of beans, like square foot gardening in here. So I got about 9 bean plants coming up here. And they go good with the squash. They give it nitrogen. And then I've got, of course, my nasturtiums. And I always keep a yellow frisbee, because the bugs or the moths, I don't remember the name of them, but they lay the eggs and then they wind up being your squash vine borers. Well, they're attracted to that. I've got water in it and they'll drown in there. So yeah, that kind of helps you to keep them out of your plants. Everything's doing good in here too. Beautiful. And Mr. Rooster's having a ball. That's just my hosta bed, and I redid that and cleaned that all out and redid the rocks in that yesterday. And it really is pretty. I gotta move my granddaughter's walker. And I moved that rock up front, and I got my little bunny rabbit in there. And then over here, that big tomato plant there, those are the tomatoes that I started indoors, and I grew in my windowsill for the longest time. They're doing fantastic. That is an Ace 55 tomato, and then the other ones over here are, I think I got a few blue tomatoes, and then some red pear tomatoes and cherry tomatoes, and I've got peppers in here. This is like another salsa garden. I got peppers, and my sweet basil's doing really good over there. Absolutely loving it. So I'll go around to the other side of the house and I'll show you my newest herb garden by my pond. All right, friends, there's my pond area. I had to adjust my camera. And I got 2 little fountains in there, and they're darling. I got some creeping Jenny in there, And then from the big farm, the hacienda I call it, and you'll see that, I'll show that to you up at our farm when I show you our big huge garden. We got a huge pond there, so I got some water irises from that pond and planted them in here. And then of course I got little daylilies there, and that's where I like to keep them because those are very invasive. This whole area, before I redid this last year, was all just a big mound of daylilies. And you can see the outskirts of it. Here, I'll show you. Like over here where the grass stops, that's all where the daylilies started. And we had that all rototilled up, and my husband and I were on our hands and knees digging out all those daylilies. And there's still some that come up, but every time we see them, we just pull them out. And we'll get rid of them all. Anyway, there's my little pot that I've got, and it's got nasturtiums and zinnias and marigolds in there. And my daughter and I went rock hunting the other day, and I found that little hunk of driftwood. Isn't that pretty? So I put that in the pond. But anyway, I got basil here, sweet basil, and most of the vegetables, most of the herbs that I have in this garden and grasses are the ones that really like just, partial sun. They like more shade. I've got a beautiful fire and ice, hosta. And my stepfather calls them hostages. They're cute. But I got thyme, and I've got rosemary, and I got more grasses. And this is a beautiful vertigo grass. Just absolutely gorgeous. And see, sometimes I got to just pull the little bit of weeds out of here. The grass that gets in here. Otherwise, it stays pretty nice. And see, this is part of a daylily, and I just pull all that out. But it looks good. I got parsley in there, and look at that beautiful lavender bloom. Absolutely gorgeous. I love that. There's a petunia and more rosemary. I got mint over there, and I got more grass over there, the variegated. I love this little area. It's just so peaceful over here. And then my husband redid my chairs last year and my little table. So when you sit here, you can hear the pump running, the water flowing, and it's just so peaceful. And it looks so pretty. I got to get one of the I've got those little pellets that you can put in your pond so that it kills the mosquito larvae. So I got to get one of those in my pond. But isn't that pretty? So peaceful. I love that. I've got a barrel here, and I've got some beautiful not Swiss chard. This is kale, the Scarlet kale. And it's beautiful. And then I got a red cabbage and a green cabbage. And of course, I get pests in my garden. And I think I had a bunny rabbit that was chewing on some of this stuff. And I got some marigolds in there, so that'll be gorgeous when that grows up. And then right here, I got some Tom Thumb peas. And they're 4 containers. And they're doing good already. Look, I've already got little peas on them. So they don't get very big, but they're pretty prolific. So I'll get a lot of peas out of there. And that's just a bunch of nasturtiums and my little chickens. My daughter found those when they were doing spring cleanup, and a lady didn't want to throw them in the garbage, but she didn't have any more use for them. So she just put them out by the road. And my daughter, knowing that I love chickens, there's the other one, she got them for me. She gathered them up. And there's another little Tom Thumb pea plant. And here's the tomatoes that I've been growing in the house that I brought out and planted them in the big barrels. And they're all doing very well. Look at how wonderful they are. I just gave them a nice shot of blood meal. And pruned them up a little bit. So I got to take care of them, and then I might have to stake them again here pretty soon, because like this one I staked down here, it's getting long again. Now I'm also going to give them a little shot of Epsom salts. And I'll do another video on Epsom salt because that's a garden friend. The magnesium is absolutely wonderful for your garden because our soil over the years is so depleted of magnesium. So I'll show you how to use Epsom salt in your garden, and it will make all your fruit, it'll make your plants lush and full, and the fruit they bear will be much tastier and just all around better. And I lost one of my sunflowers, but the rest of them are doing really good. All different kinds in here. So I have some beautiful sunflower faces. And this one I'll just pull out of here. I don't have to have one there. And here is my little, I did this like a, how would I say it? Square foot garden. It's pretty full. I got 4 Brussels sprout plants, and I've got 4 regular kale, curly kale, the blue curly kale plants, and then I got 2 rows in there of Swiss chard. Now, my mother eats some of the Swiss chard, but a lot of the kale and the Swiss chard I do grow for the chickens because they absolutely love it, and it's so good for them. And this one over here, this one that I had tomatoes and beans and all kinds of vegetables in this garden last year, this garden here. This year, it's just strictly flowers. I just put just strictly flowers in there. And I have mint in the corner there, and it's doing really good. So, and over here by my little chicken family, I have got more sunflowers, and they're beautiful. So, and I got a lot of flowers around in flower boxes for the chickens, not to eat or anything, but just to, you know, doll up their coop a little bit, because the coop just, it looks horrible anyway. But I've got all my cabbage in here. And when I planted the cabbage, I planted, you know, red and green and red and green, red and green. So I staggered it. It's beautiful. And I got my kale plants over there that are doing good. And I got my beets in the middle. And I didn't do too many beets because I just wanted to see how they were going to do. And I got onions over there that are going to be coming up. I got onions in that bed over there. Everything's doing good. We got a lot of beets on the farm, at the garden on the farm. So you'll see them. Anyway, this is doing really, really good in here. This is yellow summer squash. And I've got a couple of stray potato plants that when I dug potatoes last year out of here, I must have missed a couple potatoes. And as you can see right there in the middle, I keep cutting it down, but it's sprouting up potatoes. And over here, this is where David and I, if you look all the way down this row, this is where we dug out the sidewalk last year. And if you watch that video, you'll see where we had dug out the sidewalk out of here. So with my potatoes, I hill them up. I had a neighbor of mine bring me a bunch of grass clippings from there. And I hill these potatoes up because I did these the no-dig method. I had such good luck with them last year that I did it again. And it was really wonderful how I did that and how well it turned out. I was so pleased. So I thought when we pulled this sidewalk out of here last year, I thought this is going to be a perfect spot to grow potatoes. So now I'm just hilling them up, and I did the other day. You can see I hilled them up with a little bit of grass. So now I'll have to go through in another few days and hill it up again because, of course, the grass settles, and that is what you want because then it packs in nicely and they can make more roots and make more potatoes. That's what I want. That is my radishes. Some of them are ready to go to seed. And here's some more radishes over here. So I just keep these 2 little pools here for radishes. And then this is ready to get picked. I've got some nice lettuce in there, and I'm going to be picking it this weekend because we're going to have a barbecue, so we're going to use that for a nice big beautiful salad. And then I probably won't grow that anymore in there. I might put some beans or something in there because the lettuce in this heat that we get, it gets real bitter, and nobody wants bitter lettuce. So I've gotten probably a couple harvests off that so far. This will be the last one, and it's still good tasting, so, but I won't push it after this one. And oh, in that bucket there, that's my granddaughter's little garden. They grew bachelor buttons in there, so they want to see how they're going to grow in there. Hopefully they'll get some nice flowers in there. That is turnips growing in that container over there in that pool. And here's more potatoes. And then in this bed, I've got 4 Brussels sprouts growing, 4 Brussels sprout plants. And this area back here is doing really good, really good. Now this bed I still need to amend. I've got 2 tomato plants and I've got cucumbers that I'm going to train up the trellis, of course. So I've got a stake in the tomatoes. I'm going to use cages for these because these are just the little red pear tomatoes. And I've got to amend this bed a little bit. I'm going to add some blood meal and some compost to that. And that'll do good. And that there, friends, you can see is the big gaping hole from the septic, the old septic. And you know how I can tell it's an old septic? Is there's a pipe down there. You can probably, I won't get too close to it, but you can probably just barely see that pipe down in there coming into that septic. And I'm going to go back on this side, and I keep this cage over it because that's where all my compost was from last year. And when I dug, that hole opened up and I lost all my compost. But you can see down in there, you probably can see that there's brick. So that is an old septic that I thought was a sinkhole. This is beans. I've got different kinds of beans in here. They're all different. I got jade beans. I've got the Kentucky Wonder bush beans, and I've got some burgundy bush beans in there. So that's all just going to be beans, and it's doing real good. That was where the little bunny rabbit was nibbling on some of my beans. So yeah, he's gone. I leave the cat out at night and she chases him away. These are the yellow straight neck squash. And I've got, on that side of the trellis, I got cucumbers. Both sides of this big trellis is going to be cucumbers. So, and they're getting to where, they're getting tall enough now to where I can start training them and pushing them through to get them to start growing up that trellis. So it's going to be nice. And I just got 3 squash plants in there because those are going to get really good size. And I got 2, hi Charlie, are you taking care of the bunny rabbit out here that's chewing on my beans? Kitty, kitty. Hi, kitty, kitty. Hi, girl. Yeah. You're a good kitty. Yes, you are. You're a good kitty. Okay, I've got tomatoes in containers here too. And this is pole beans I got growing on this side. You can see them down there, and they're doing really good. And I've got tomato plants in here. And I've also got this little, I left this little fence up here because the tomatoes on the other side are indeterminate. So I'm going to prune them up, and I'm going to get them attached to the fencing there so that they'll have room to grow. And these here, I'm just going to put a cage around them because these are determinants on this side. So we'll see how those grow. And then over here, I've got beans, more bush beans. I've got a lot of bush beans because my family goes through a lot of beans. And I've got cabbage, more cabbage over here. So I'm going to do a lot of dehydrating in cabbage and beans as well. Now right here, this is a beautiful, see, it's already putting out a runner. So all I do is I'm just gonna kind of put it under there and it'll start training its way. And I pulled this one over here and it'll make its way to the fence. So will all these. And then they'll be nice. These ones over here probably aren't quite ready. See, they're not quite long enough to get over here to the fence yet. So they'll get there though. But anyway, so over here, I had cucumbers growing in here last year. Now I got a couple little cucumber plants down there growing, and then these are squash. And I don't know, I think they're the yellow crookneck squash. So anyway, and then over there you'll see the little tree. My sister-in-law brought me a little lilac start. So I'm gonna have a lilac bush over there eventually. So there you go, friends. That's how busy I've been the last couple weeks. I've put a lot of work in here. It's been quite the 2 weeks, and my garden's looking good. Oh, I don't know if you can see it, but over there you'll see the green coming up and the little bitty trellis there. I planted morning glories on there so the chickens have some pretties there. So, but anyway, that's it, friends. And that's my gardens for right now. That's a garden tour. Week 1, I'll do garden tours all through the summer for you, so you can see how everything does, and you know how good everything's growing. And I'll also be doing weekly updates, and I'll show you the big garden on the farm. I'll take you on a walk around the farm. It's absolutely gorgeous. And that's it for today. So thanks for hanging out with me. God bless you all, and I'll see you next time.